I installed a cursed operating system dedicated to Justin Bieber. It was a journey into the abyss of absolutely cursed Linux OSs, and it might be the worst thing I've ever done to a computer. This is the story of Beebian, the operating system that time and common sense forgot. Alright, let's back up. How did we even get here? Why would any sane person in 2026, an era of sleek, modern, AI-powered operating systems, willingly install something called Justin Bieber Linux? Well, the answer is simple. For science, of course. And also because the common sense part of my brain is clearly busted. Now, it all started with a trip down the rabbit hole of internet history. I was feeling particularly nostalgic for the golden era of meme operating systems from the early 2010s, when coders with a weird sense of humor would slap a celebrity theme on a Linux distro and let it loose. And the most famous of these was, of course, Hannah Montana Linux. But while reading about it, I stumbled upon its darker, weirder, and way more obscure cousin. An OS born from the chaotic depths of 4chan's /G board back in 2011. I'm talking about Beebian. The official project page, which somehow still exists on a dusty corner of the internet, comes with a warning that should have been a giant red flag. This OS is a joke, inspired by Hannah Montana Linux. Anyone who takes it too seriously is silly and needs to take a dump. Challenge accepted. The first step was to get my hands on the Beebian ISO file. It wasn't on some slick, modern repository. It had its own dedicated webpage which looked like a web design fossil. Now, I wasn't able to download the ISO image from here because the SSL certificate was simply just way too old. So it was on to SourceForge. The entire OS is just over 128 megabytes, smaller than most modern app updates, and that is not a feature, that is a warning sign. With the cursed image file secured, it was time to install it on its own digital prison, a virtual machine. Since Beebian is a relic from 2011, the VM had to be carefully configured to mimic a computer from its time. I had to disable all modern conveniences and enable legacy modes, basically convincing my powerful rig it was a dusty old desktop from over a decade ago. And here we uncover the first big lie. Beebian, based on Debian, right? Wrong. It's actually based on a distribution called Puppy Linux, specifically Lucid Puppy 5.2.5. For those who don't know their Linux lore, Puppy Linux is a super lightweight OS designed to be incredibly fast and run on ancient, low-powered hardware, and the installation itself was a trip. The graphical installer was incredibly hard to find, but after some digging I was able to find it hiding deep in the menus. And this installer was like nothing I had ever seen before. Confusing questions about partitions, requiring me to use gparted to create a partition before even installing, and a constant feeling of, am I about to wipe my hard drive? It felt less like installing software and more like defusing a bomb without a manual. After what felt like an eternity, I finally got through it. The virtual machine rebooted, the moment of truth had arrived. There's always this quiet moment of anticipation after you install a new OS. You wait for the welcome screen, the slick animation, the calming wallpaper. With Beebian, you get none of that. What you get is a jarring, low-res splash screen followed by a desktop that can only be described as cursed. Now, the primary color is purple. Not a tasteful lavender, but a garish, eye-searing, bubblegum purple that covers every button, menu, and icon. And then there's the wallpaper. It's a heavily compressed photo of 2011-era Justin Bieber, staring into your soul with a look that says,
"Why have you awakened me?"
The whole thing runs on something called OpenBox, a minimalist window manager. Minimalist is generous. Barren is more accurate. Along the bottom, a taskbar holds a few icons that look like they were drawn in MS Paint. And to be honest, I don't even know what they do. There are no smooth animations, no drop shadows, no modern flair. Clicking a menu makes it appear instantly, with the brutal efficiency of a guillotine. And what about pre-installed software? You might expect Justin Bieber's discography or something, but no. You get a bare-bones suite of lightweight Linux apps from that era. There's AbiWord for word processing, a program so basic it makes Notepad look advanced. There's a media player, which is hilariously optimistic, and there's a paint program that is a direct clone of Windows 3.1 version of MS Paint. Now, I spent a good 10 minutes just clicking around, mesmerized by the sheer unapologetic ugliness of it all. The question, can I use this for a day, quickly turned into, how fast can I get out? Now, for any modern OS, there's one test that matters way above all the others: connecting to the internet. With a sense of morbid curiosity, I clicked the icon labeled Web Browser. A window for a web browser called Midori blinked into existence. Midori was a lightweight browser from the early 2010s designed for low-spec hardware. I typed the most basic destination I could think of: Google. I hit enter, and I waited. No loading icon or any indication of functionality whatsoever, and then a stark white screen with gray text. If you're having trouble accessing Google search, please click here. So I did, and absolutely nothing happened. So I tried again, this time with youtube.com. More errors. X? Nope. My own YouTube channel? Absolutely not. And it slowly dawned on me: the internet as we know it simply doesn't exist on Beebian. And here's why. Secure websites use a language of protocols like TLS to communicate. Beebian's browser speaks a version of that language from 2011. The modern web requires a much newer dialect and won't talk to outdated, insecure browsers. Its methods for creating a secure connection are considered broken. And this was my breaking point. Every plan I had, writing a script in Notion, researching video ideas, and watching YouTube videos to calm my nerves, was impossible. The OS wasn't just bad or ugly, it was fundamentally, irrevocably broken. And the joke, it seemed, was on me. Okay, so the internet was a total write-off. My main mission is in shambles, but I'm stubborn, and I refuse to be defeated by a piece of joke software. So, fine, Beebian. You don't want to connect to the modern world? Let's see what you can do. First is productivity. With Notion out the window, I fired up the pre-installed word processor, AbiWord. A stark white page appeared, and you know what? It worked. I could type, I could write the sentence, "This is awful," and I saved the file to root? A small, pathetic victory, but a victory nonetheless. Next is media. I smuggled an MP3 file onto the VM, I double-clicked it, and a generic-looking program called GNOME M Player launched, and it couldn't even play the song. Now, feeling bold, I transferred a modern 1080p video file that was less successful. The player sputtered, displayed a single green frame, and crashed so hard it almost took the desktop with it. I tried everything. I browsed the arcane file structure, I opened the terminal and ran basic commands, feeling like a hacker from a 90s movie, and it was fast, I'll give it that. Mostly because the system isn't doing anything, it's just a collection of old tools and a dusty old digital shed, unable to connect to anything outside its own purple-walled garden. After proving that Beebian is about as useful as a chocolate teapot, I had to ask, why does this thing even exist? And to answer that, you have to remember its inspiration, Hannah Montana Linux. Hannah Montana Linux was the original joke. Released a few years before Beebian, it was a Linux system themed around the Disney pop star. Beebian was born on 4chan as a direct response, a parody of a parody. But here's where the story gets interesting. HML became a fond memory, a piece of internet lore that people still joke about. People have even floated ideas about what a modern version would look like, keeping the spirit of the joke alive. Now, Beebian, on the other hand, is a fossil. It's a perfect, unchanging snapshot of 2011 internet culture. Its last meaningful update was, well, pretty much never. It was released and promptly abandoned. Its own webpage has a 2019 update that just says, "Long live Beebian, still better than Windows and Mac." That's about it. It's a monument to a dead meme, left to decay. And that's its true purpose now. Beebian isn't just a bad operating system, it's a time capsule. Using it is a tangible way to experience the internet of the past. The broken web, the low-res aesthetic, the total isolation. It's a more effective history lesson than any museum. And while the memory of Hannah Montana Linux grew up, Beebian remains frozen in time, a testament to the bizarre and hilarious nature of internet culture. Now, if you have any experience with either Hannah Montana Linux or Beebian, let me know down in the comments below. I just need to know I'm not alone in this insanity. And while you're down there, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. So, After this journey into the abyss of weird and forgotten operating systems, is Beebian the worst operating system ever made? From a purely functional standpoint in 2026, yes, unquestionably. It is a catastrophic failure on every level. It's insecure, non-functional, and aesthetically offensive. And by any rational measure, it's an abject disaster. But that's like judging a clown on how well they can perform heart surgery. It's just completely missing the point. Let's go back to the creator's original message. Anyone who takes this too seriously is silly and needs to take a dump. Beebian was never meant to be good. It was designed from the ground up as a complete joke. And in that, it is an unparalleled success. 15 years later, and the joke has only gotten better. Its complete and utter uselessness is what makes it so brilliant. It is the worst operating system, but it's also one of the best joke operating systems. So while I will be uninstalling and wiping every single piece of this OS off of my system, I do so with a strange sense of respect. So thank you, Beebian, for being truly awful. You're one of a kind.